peeps, it's Julian here from Disrupt Tutoring, and as always, it's such a pleasure to join you. Today we are on question 3 from the 2017 Maths Lit Paper 2, and this question deals with map reading and scale conversion. Okay, so they've asked us to look at annotate D, which shows us the location of Lizette's property marked H, which includes the house on the map of Mandela Park. So they also say that there is a new extension is indicated using dark bold lines as shown on the map. There's also an enlargement section next to the map. So if we look at this map, they're talking about property H over here, and there's her property, and then they've given that there's this enlargement map on the side. So going on to the questions, number 3.1.1 is saying, if the numbering system for properties follow the same pattern as shown on the main map, determine the street address of the property marked H. So going back to the map, we can see that this property here is 29. H is unmarked, and you can see that the properties numbering order, so if we go from here, it's 17 and it goes all the way down to 29, so it's increasing as we go from left to right. And also remember how addresses work on a road is that the one side will be even numbers, so we have like 18 and 24, and the other side will go up in odd numbers. So if we go from 17, we know that it's 17 all the way to 29, and if these are the odd numbers, this means this must be property 31 and H being 33. So we know that H is 33, and they've also told us that the street is Coelho Street. So going back now to our answer, we know that 3.1.1 is 33 Coelho Street. And that is the answer for the first question. Then on to 3.1.2. They're asking us to use measurements and the given scale to determine the actual dimensions in meters of the rectangular property marked H. So for this one, I don't have a copy of it to scale because it's just basically a screenshot of the map, but I have seen my physical copy. I have measured, so you're going to have to use your ruler and measure the actual dimensions. So on property H, the width is this top is from here to here. So with your ruler, you need to measure this, and with my ruler and to the copy of the exam that I've got, I measure this to be 9 millimeters. And then the length, so that's the longer part of the property, from there to there, I measure it to be 22 millimeters. So you need to use your ruler and be as accurate as possible. So measuring from the one side to the other, and they do give you a leniency of about 1 or 2 millimeters. But the correct answer for this one is that it's 9 millimeters on the width and 22 millimeters in length. And then we use these two measurements. We also need to measure the scale. So as they're showing you from here at the bottom, you've got the 30 meter scale. So they're saying from this line to that line is 30 meters. And if you put your ruler on there, I get that the scale measures to be about 25 millimeters. So keeping this in mind, we can now use these to convert the length and width into meters. Okay, so going back to the question, as I said, length was measured to be 22 millimeters, and our width was measured to be 9 millimeters, and our scale was that 25 millimeters equaled 30 meters. So just as a reminder, you can see as I said, it was the 25 millimeters is 30, and it's 9 millimeters by 22. So we can use the scale now. So how we use a scale is we can multiply the millimeters divided by the meters. So therefore, your length, you need to convert to meters. So your length is equal to, so you want the thing that you want to convert to, so it's the meters, 30 meters, divided by what we're converting from. So we know it's the 25 millimeters. We multiply this scale, so this is the ratio that each measurement is being converted to. So we multiply this by the 22 millimeters that we calculated, that were also rather measured. So those cancel to leave us just with meters, and this equals, in your calculators, 30 divided by 25 times by 22 equals 26,4 meters. Then the same thing for width, so therefore your width converted to meters is equal to, again you use the same scale, 30 meters divided by 25 millimeters. So now we multiply it by 9 millimeters, because that's what we measured the width to be. The millimeters cancel, and in your calculators, 30 over 25 times by 9 equals 10,8 meters. And those are your two dimensions that they're looking for this question. Okay, and then on to 3.1.3. Lizette stated that the enlargement is 5 times bigger than the corresponding section on the main map. Verify showing all calculations whether her statement is valid. So if we go to the main map again, you see here they've given us the enlargement with the property h over there, and we now have to verify that this is indeed 5 times larger. So how we can do this is that if we take our measured length, which was 22 millimeters, we measure then the length of h, and if this is 5 times larger, or rather let me say if this is 5 times smaller, we can verify that she is correct. So again, using your ruler, I can't show me physically measuring it, but on the page that I have, I measure it from the top to the bottom, that this is approximately 62 millimeters. And again, they do give leeway of plus or minus 1 millimeter, but try and be as accurate as possible reading off your ruler. So this is 62 millimeters. So then going back, so we'll write that on enlarged map, comma, your length equals 62 millimeters. Okay, so now if we take the scaled length, so if we say scaled down length, that she claims, so equals that 62 millimeters, and she claims that it's 5 times bigger. So let's just see, is 62 divided by 5? So we want to see if the measured length of the smaller map, so we divide it by 5, and we put this in our calculator, equals 12,4 millimeters. And then we can say, therefore, 12,4 millimeters does not equal the 22 millimeters that we had measured in the previous question. So remember, we measured this length as 22 millimeters. When we say 62 divided by 5 comes to 12 millimeters, this is clearly wrong. So the statement that Lizette has made is incorrect. So we need to write down, therefore, statement not valid. That concludes question 3.1. Before I go, I just want to give a special thanks to our epic sponsors for making this video possible. Remember to read more about them in the description below. Be sure to visit our website for more of these epic tutorial videos. If you can't find the answer to your questions, you can always send us your question and we will respond with a personalized video just for you. And until next time, stay epic.